Hello, this is Jeremy Fox again, coming to you with a application report on Snap2 Android. So, as of right now, the state of the application is actually fantastic and way ahead of schedule. I was successfully able to implement all features in Milestone 1 and actually a real good portion of Milestone 2. So at this point, we are way ahead of schedule, which will actually open up some a decent amount of time at the end in the third week to either allow us to do some real heavy regression testing to make sure the app is as rock solid and stable as possible, or we could also implement maybe some additional features in as well, maybe some nice to haves that were kind of tossed to the side because of possible time restraints. So time seems to be opening up. We're ahead of schedule, so we can look at maybe putting some of those back in. Some of the challenges for this first milestone were definitely related to mainly the camera. It works a lot different in Android than it does in iOS. You kind of have to rotate the canvas and rotate the camera in certain directions depending on orientation, and then also the front camera works differently than the back camera. So some of the pictures I was taking in the front camera, they were upside down versus the back camera being right side up. So you have to compensate for all that stuff. So that took me a couple days to figure out, but that was really the biggest challenge, was just implementing the camera to take the pictures properly and be able to save the picture as quickly as possible to let the user snap pictures quickly. I feel real strongly about it right now, and both front and back camera are operating optimal right now, so things are looking good. Accomplishments for the week, I would definitely say the same thing. Being able to take the pictures rapidly using the front or back camera and having them come out in the proper orientation is key. So that was definitely a big accomplishment there, and just being so far ahead of schedule. Don't have any change requests currently. Plans moving forward to continue on right where I left off, and try to stay ahead of schedule to give us some extra time in week 3 to really test this thing hard and make sure that everything's working properly. So I have Droid at screen up here, and I'll go ahead and run through the milestone 1 just to verify everything. We won't go specifically line by line, but kind of hit the main bullet points here. So here we are. There's 8 little things in here, and each has a subsection. But so the first thing you can see is we do have our app icon in place. It's right there on the home screen. I'm using Droid at screen, which is kind of a delayed, so I'll have to take an action and wait for the screen to catch up before you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to tap the icon now, and we'll launch into the app. And as you can see, the next one here is initial setup screen. This is supposed to have add contacts, social network, connect social networks, and take pictures. And when you first bring it up, and this is a brand new install, I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, so I'm a brand new user at this point. The first thing that I will see is add contacts, and that's the only one that's highlighted and allowed to click. So if I select that one, we go into the add contacts screen, and then if I hit the plus, it brings up my contacts that I have on the device. If I select one, it's now added as a contact in our app, and it's stored there for good. If I select it, there you go. See the check mark selects and then deselects. That's working, but nothing else is happening behind the scenes yet. That will be next week. So then I can finish that one. I go back, and now I'm in step 2, so I can go into step 2 and Facebook and Twitter. If I select these, you'll see a little toast show up just letting me know, hey, you selected Facebook. And then if I select Twitter, there it goes, you selected Twitter. So I have the event handlers in there. I just have to implement the SDK for each Facebook and Twitter. Oh, and of course fix my lowercase t to a capital T, but I can take care of that. Once I implement the SDKs, then I can wire up the clicks to actually perform the login. So now I go back, and now I can take pictures. So because I've already configured everything, so we click go, and there is our camera screen. So a couple things to note. The icon in the very bottom left is just a placeholder currently. It's just to kind of show that there's a way to get to the photo history without actually having any photos yet. So if I tap it, it just brings up an empty photo history. It says you don't have any photos yet. So I can go back to the camera. And then if I click the cog icon on the bottom right, that will bring up the settings where we have instant share photos with, social networks, and send us feedback. The share photos with and social networks will open up the respective screens. So if I click share photos with, I go to the contact screen where you can see the contact that I had previously added is still there. If I go back and I click social networks, it will bring up the social network screen. If I tap send us feedback, that is his action send intent so that I can send an email. For the sake of time, I'm not going to select this, but all it'll do is pull up an email and pre-fill it with enter your message here, and it'll also fill in the version of the application that they're on, so that I know, or so that we know. And then the instant share will just be a toggle on or off to actually turn on the instant share feature on or off. I also have a camera flip icon in the top right, so if we touch that, you will see my beautiful face here show up in just a second, as you can see right there. And I will go ahead and snap a picture. And you'll see the thumbnail in the bottom right update with the most recent picture taken. We can flip it back around, and I'll just take a picture of my computer screen. And you'll see the thumbnail update with the latest picture taken on the bottom left there again. And then I can also adjust the flash mode. So if I touch it, I get this little drop down view with the 3 different modes: off, on, or automatic. So if I turn it on and I take a picture, it will flash no matter what, whether it needs to or not. If I turn it off and I take a picture, it really should need to flash right now, but it's not going to because I've turned it off. And if I put it on automatic and try to take a picture of something real dark, you'll see there, you saw it flash. So it'll flash if it needs to, and then if I point it at the screen, I don't think it'll need a flash. Nope. So there you can see it didn't flash that time. So the flash mode is working, which is a feature that wasn't supposed to be at this point, so that's way ahead of schedule. So now if we go into our photo history, we get our photos. There they are. If I go and select, say, like the 4th one down here of my computer screen, it will load up the photo viewer, and that's just a debug message that you selected photo position 3. I'm going to get rid of that before we actually ship the application, but that just shows me what index I selected. And then I can actually swipe through the different photos. So as I'm going left here, you'll see them change. And there's my face. And so now the photo viewer is working. Just need to wire up the photo editor. So that is a basic overview of everything right there. So if we look at the milestone, the camera's working, all the buttons are in place, pressing them is working. The photo history screen is not actually pulling up static data like it was supposed to be. It's actually pulling up actual saved photos. Selecting a photo opens the photo in the photo viewer. That's done. Photo viewer displays static photo with selected photo from history. That's way overdone. So that's actually selecting the real saved photo, and allows you to swipe between all the photos. Settings screen, all settings are static. This is true. Nothing is being stored. That is also true. And we have all the settings that are supposed to be in there in place. The share screen displays static list of contacts. That's actually real data. They're not static. The actual real contacts that you store from your device. Selecting, unselecting certain contacts works and shows hides the check mark, but nothing else is happening behind the scenes at this point. That is done. And the social network screen, this will not be implemented until a later milestone. I actually had extra time, so I went ahead and implemented that as well. I don't have any milestone issues to report at this time, or milestone feature changes. So that is it for this update. I hope you are pleased with the application so far, and how far we are ahead of schedule. So that's it, and thank you for watching.